All right, now hopefully you have made a list of all of your conversions that we showed in the last video, and you have that to where you can refer back to it often and quickly. Because we're going to show you now how to go about converting these units. Now, what we're saying here is, they've given you a figure. They've said we've got 120 seconds. Now, we want to know how many minutes that is. Well, we could figure this out in our head just by playing around with it. If we know that there are 60 seconds is 1 minute, then 2 minutes would be 120 seconds. Okay, so we could figure it out in our head. The thing is that we want to show you how to do it by dimensional analysis so that you could take that same concept and you could apply it to larger and larger problems. Okay, so to do things with dimensional analysis, we always start off with what we're given. So in this case, we would start with 120 seconds and put that over 1. Now, we're going to figure out what we have to multiply by, and this is called a conversion factor. This is an equivalence, like what we talked about in the last video. And in order to find the right equivalence, here's the easiest way to do it. Looking at this, we say, okay, you know what? I don't want seconds. I want to get rid of those. So if I multiply by something, really I'm just looking at fractions here. I've got numerators and denominators. So our fraction rules take over. Now, in order to get rid of something on the top, we have to have the exact same thing on the bottom so that it cancels out with fractions. So if I were to put seconds on bottom, then we've got the same thing on top and bottom. We could cancel that. That's what we want to do. Whatever we're going to get rid of, we're going to put that in the opposite position so that it will cancel out. And then we have to ask ourselves, I want to go to minutes. Those are the units I want. Is there a relationship between seconds and minutes? Well, yes, there is. So I'm going to put the minutes on the top. We do the units first, and then we fill in the numbers. So what is the relationship between minutes and seconds? Well, there are 60 seconds in every minute. If you do the units first and then fill in the numbers, you will not go wrong. Now, since we have seconds on top and seconds on bottom, we can cancel those units. And the only units now that we have left are minutes. You will know that you're done when the only units you have left are the ones you want. And now we can go through and we can just work with the numbers. This literally says 120 times 1, which is 120, and on bottom we have 1 times 60, which is 60. So really we're just dealing with fractions here. We can say 120 divided by 60 is 2 minutes. Now you can think about this as, simplifying those fractions. You could multiply top and bottom and then divide. All of those rules that we talked about with fractions are still applying. So that is how we do this with dimensional analysis.